Laura Fulford has tested every diet imaginable, but now she knows the secret sauce for weight loss. So let's welcome Laura to the stage and find out what it is. All right.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Well, you should know that I'm a Christian weight loss coach, and that means that everywhere I go, two elephants are with me in the room. The first one is Christianity, and the other is weight loss. And either one of those topics are enough to make anybody just want to run for the door. But I want to make a promise to you that I don't have a sermon for you, and I'm not going to make you do jumping jacks, even though I am tempted to break into a little sweat into the hymnal. That would be fun right now, but we're not even going to do that. What I want to talk to you about is my 1,000-pound journey. I mean, are you a little bit curious about how a person gains and loses 1,000 pounds in their lifetime? Well, the secret is you have to get started really young. In 1969, it was in September, I remember, because we were in my parents' front yard and we were all playing football with the neighborhood kids. We're running around, and I had two big brothers, and I was kind of an athletic little kid just having a good time. And I noticed this one little boy stops and slows down, and he looks at me, and he contorts his face, and he says, "You're fat." And it was the first time I remember just kind of recoiling, almost as though he had physically hit me. And I felt, for the first time, shame about my appearance. And that made such a strong impression on my young little 6-year-old heart that I did, at that moment, start my first diet. And I had a great example because my mom was a yo-yo dieter. I already pretty much knew what to do. I knew what to cut back on at 6 years old. So from about 1969, I started my journey. I went on every diet imaginable. I did Stillman, I did Pritikin. These are like some old names from way back when. I did Weight Watchers. I even did the Mayo Clinic diet, and that was just because I thought that mayo was short for mayonnaise. So for about really every Monday, starting a new diet, I tried exercise. I was always kind of an athletic kid, so I ran, I lifted weights, I did half marathons, I did 2 marathons, I did 10Ks, 5Ks, 1Ks, you name it. I've done every kind of exercise, and in fact, at one point, I was kind of an exercise bulimic, but it never prevented me from, or it always I never got to my goal weight, I should say. And I even majored in exercise physiology in college because I felt like if I had a career in fitness, I would always be able to manage my weight. But I think in college is probably when I reached my highest weight, and really through a period of about 35 years, my weight fluctuated every year, and that's how you gain and lose 1,000 pounds in your lifetime. I even tried supplements. I took all kinds of diet pills, Metabolife, and they just make you wired and exhausted at the same time, and none of them work. So I feel like I have left absolutely nothing untested in my life about what to do about weight loss. And so I finally, about 2003, I was getting pretty close to 40, or the year I did turn 40, I gave up. I said, I'm not doing it. Not another diet. I don't care what happens to my weight. I don't care what anybody thinks about how I look. I'm sick of worrying about it. And nobody really does care how you look anyway, so it was kind of a relief to figure that one out. So as I stood back and started to look at my relationship with food, I realized something interesting. Food wasn't just food to me. It wasn't just nourishment. It was a drug. I used food to make me feel better when I was sad, to entertain me when I was bored. Whatever I needed, food was the solution for. Food always felt good. So as I started to realize that and I looked around, I realized I wasn't alone in that. In fact, in America, we spend $60 billion a year annually on weight loss products. But here's the thing. 95% of the people that go on a diet gain all their weight back within 2 years. And right now in America, it's getting close to 69% of the people in this country are either overweight or obese. And in fact, it's estimated that by the year 2030, more and more people are going to be moving from the overweight and into the obese category. And that obese category is going to get up to about 45% of us. The trend is continuing in obesity. So here's the thing that I realized, that we're spending $60 billion on products that have a 5% success rate. I would say that's stupid. I think Larry would call that stupid, don't you think? So there's something different going on that none of us realize, and actually it doesn't seem like anybody's really marketing a solution for. So I feel like I figured out what the real problem is that no one is addressing and no one's really talking about when it comes to weight loss. And I want you to go through an exercise with me, because this will help you understand more about your own relationship with food. So I want you to draw a triangle. I'm going to take a piece of paper if you don't have one, and a pen. Oh, I love it. Everybody's grabbing pen and paper. So draw your triangle, and right in the middle of your triangle, I want you to write down what your favorite food is. Mine is something like donuts, anything that's a combination of, sugar and fat and flour. That used to be my drug of choice. Now at the bottom left-hand side of your triangle, I want you to write the word desire. Now on the bottom right, I would like for you to write the word willpower. Every time that you make a decision about what you're going to eat or not eat, that tug of war is going on. You've got a battle going on between your willpower and your desire. And the reality is, your desire is like a Mack truck. Your willpower is kind of like a moped. Willpower is not meant to sustain you through a long-term change process, and losing weight permanently is a long-term change process. So when you're dealing with a tug of war between your desire and your willpower, you're really dealing with an internal struggle. And part of the problem in weight loss is it's not just a body issue. The reality is it's an issue with our entire being, because we're not just a body. We're a body, a soul, and a spirit. And this battle is going on really in your mind and in your emotions. So what we need is something stronger than that to overcome our desire. And what I found in my life to finally help me overcome that battle is God. In my relationship with God, I found that God designed my body. It works exactly the way that he designed it to work. And in addition to that, God made the food that we're supposed to eat. It occurs in nature. If it occurs in nature and man hasn't turned it into some funky science project, that's what we're made to eat. That's what our bodies do best with. I learned that God meant for me to be nourished by food. He didn't mean for me to be stimulated by food. He didn't mean for food to satisfy emotions. God meant for food to satisfy our bodies. He meant for himself to satisfy us at the soul and spirit level. What you'll find is that food is never going to do for you anything more than nourish you. And in fact, when you use it for anything other than nourishment, it's going to make problems for you in your life that you're going to spend a lot of time worrying about and trying to solve. What I found was the solution for me was the overcoming power of a greater affection. That's a quote from Thomas Chalmers. And the only solution long-term to weight loss is if you can find something that's more powerful in your life than your desire for food and what food does for you every day. And for me, that's been my relationship with God. So I'm going to leave you today with a few things that I have for you. The first of these things is that are going to be available back at my table is 7 God-given truths about weight loss. These are free. You can pick these up. Another one is the 10 ways to sabotage your weight loss. If you look at these things and pick any one of them, you're going to find things that you can start doing today to make a difference in the way that you relate to food. Also available at my table is my book, I Once Was Fat, But Now I'm Found. In this book, I talk in detail about my 1,000-pound journey, and I also talk in detail about how I found the solution in my relationship with God. So this is available at my table for $20. So as I wrap up, I just want to say thank you for your attention, and I will leave you with this. As you go away to lunch, don't eat the French fries. Okay. Thank you very much.